Welcome to Link G4x Training Part 13. In this video, we're going to take a look at working with our traditional fuel mode. The traditional mode is going to be the most simplistic way to map out the fuel table and your fuel delivery on your G4x system. It's going to not have any heavy math modeling behind it, as we'll find in our model mode. We're going to take a look at that in a separate video. I'm going to break down what you need to know about the traditional mode so you understand how to work with it, how to program some of the variables that are specific to the traditional mode, and then understanding how those relate to the main fuel table. There's going to be a lot to cover, so let's jump into this video so we can check this out. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at working with our traditional fuel equation mode in our PC Link software. Our traditional fuel equation mode is going to be what's known as an injection time-based fuel strategy, where the values in the main fuel table allow us to directly drive up or down our injector pulse width. They're going to be moving up and down independently of engine displacement, injector flow rate, or number of cylinders. So we're going to have a couple different options for our fuel equation modes. Traditional is the most simplistic. We do have a model mode, which is going to be more mathematically based. Also a model multi-fuel that we'll take a look at. That's going to be for flex fuel control. So traditional is the most simplistic way we can control our fuel calibration process and our fuel table. And when we're tuning in traditional, we'll find that we are going to get the exact same results as a model option or a VE option that we'll find within our software. So starting off with the traditional is going to simplify the process. There's less things to program and factor in. It is much easier for someone that's new at doing tuning with your PC Link software and your G4x system to start off with a traditional style fuel equation mode. Now we do find that Link has most all the base maps set in traditional fuel equation mode because it does simplify the process again. So we want to start off usually with a fuel equation mode in traditional setting so that we can get comfortable with everything, get everything dialed in. You can always switch over to other options of model or model multi-fuel once you tune your traditional, but it will require you to recalibrate your fuel table. You need to keep that in mind, so you need to pick the fuel equation mode when you start off creating your base calibration file before you even do any calibration process and tuning any fuel, because it will change everything drastically switching from one mode to the next. So let's jump in here to our basics page and let's move down here on the left hand side under fuel main, and we can take a look under fuel equation mode. We're going to find that we have our options here to select. So we have traditional, which is what we're going to cover in the video here. We're going to find model, which is what we're going to cover in the next video, and then model multi-fuel, we're going to cover that later on in the training course. That's for flex fuel control. So if you're going to be doing a flex style tune, you need to be in model multi-fuel. You're not able to accomplish it in the traditional mode, so that's going to be one of the trade-offs. We need to learn what all of these represent and how to work with them either way, so you're familiar with going in and mapping everything out in either mode. The traditional mode, again, injection time-based. Model mode, VE fuel strategy. So if you're used to working with an AEM Series 1 or a Series 2 or the older Motec M400, 600, 800 gold boxes, they're going to be in that injection time-based strategy. They'll be in this more traditional strategy. That'll feel a little bit more organic when you're working with your PC Link software here and tuning everything. If you're coming from a Haltech Elite or you're coming from an AEM Infinity or the new Motec M1, you'll find that those are going to be in a VE style fuel strategy. So the model will feel a little bit more familiar and comfortable when you're doing your process and you're calibrating. So it's going to be really the difference of accomplishing the same task as far as delivering the injector pulse width and hitting the air fuel you like. It's just going to be, one is going to do it in a more simplistic way versus more of a math model way. I prefer working with the model myself, but it all comes down to personal preference and tuning experience. So again, traditional is an excellent starting point with your Link system. So I'm going to select traditional right now. Let's move down here under fuel main and take a look at some other things we need to kind of account for working in our traditional mode. We're going to find we have a master fuel and a master fuel trim. These values will act as a background scalar and multiplier to the main fuel table. So these are going to have to be accounted for. We'll talk about what these represent a little bit later in the video. We also have our equation load source here. So we have load equals map, barrel pressure, or barrel pressure over map. These choices will affect our fuel calculations as well. They're going to be very specific of what we select here for our load options. I'll talk about that as well a little bit later in the video. So these options will make a little bit more sense. Now our equation load source isn't going to be specific to the traditional mode. We would be able to select that in either model or model multi-fuel, but I do want to mention what those represent and which one to select here within the video. If you're coming into this video and you only want to learn about traditional, I wanted to include that within the video. If you're going to be interested in model, I'll also have that in the model specific video, and we'll talk about that as well. So let's move from our basics page and let's actually go into our fuel page. In our fuel page, we have our main fuel table. The main fuel table here Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.